So this is Srimad Bhagavatam, the 9th chapter of the 2nd canto. This chapter is very special because there is Brahma's receiving the Bhagavatam in form of 4 shlokas, Chatushloki Bhagavatam. Originally Bhagavatam is spoken by the Lord to Brahma in 4 shlokas. Aham evasam evagre, starting like that. I am the origin of whole manifestations, and anything which is not me, understand it to be my illusory energy, like that Krishna explains. And then after explaining this chapter begins with like that. It's a very important 4 verses, so we'll study this chapter from next Sunday. So first thing that explains a beautiful shloka that not only Krishna creates the living entities, now he creates a material universe, living entities are eternal. And in this material universe, when he puts us inside the bodies, but also makes us associate with the body. There are 2 aspects of creation. One aspect is creating the material world. The scientists are trying to imitate that, but they don't know more difficult than that with the next stage, to make a jiva associate with the body you put. First thing, they have no idea that we are not body, we are spirit, soul. They're thinking if they create a cell with all the components, it will be living. It will never be living. It will be dead. So many dead bodies are lying in a crematorium. All the cells are there. Correct. Cell will be dead. But the next thing is that you have to put a soul in that body. And that soul has to identify with this body. Otherwise, you will not be able to associate with the body. So not only Lord creates illusion, he makes us identify with the illusion. Ahankara, I am this body. That is more difficult. That they can never do. First thing, they cannot create a body. Even if you create a body, somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, if you create a living entity exactly as it is, will the soul come inside? Prabhupada said, soul is God's servant, not your servant. What is? He doesn't have to obey anything. Correct? So not only that, has to identify with that body, otherwise it doesn't work. The whole thing will not work. So therefore there are 2 aspects of creation. One aspect is creating the material world, and second aspect is making the material world look like the spiritual world. For all of us, it exactly looks like the spiritual world. All of us are in total illusion. We are in the spiritual world now. We discussed the Sachidananda nature. Soul, what is the nature? Sachidananda. We are all feeling we are in the same Sachidananda. Why? When somebody died, what is? He died, huh? Why? Why are you surprised? Why are you surprised? Material world death is very normal. Why are you surprised? If you meet next Sunday, all of you are still alive, that should be surprise. Because death is happening and should happen. If you are alive, that should be a surprise. Why death is a surprise? There should not be surprise. That shows we are eternal. And we are thinking we are in this. Because in the spiritual world, if death happens, that should be a surprise. Material world, death is it's happening every day. Okay, died. Huh? Okay. But we are very, you understand? We don't say, okay, died. We just can't believe he died. It is not only taking. Yesterday I was talking to him. He died, huh? How was it possible? Why? That means we are thinking we are in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, death cannot happen. Death is a news in the spiritual world because it cannot happen. It has happened when it's a major news. Okay, their death doesn't happen when people live to the material world. He left, huh? Oh, surprise. Generally nobody leaves. Krishna's service is so ecstatic. Who will leave? But anyway, then Satchit, full of knowledge. We are so curious to know everything. Suppose there is a book at your home you have never opened. We are curious to open and see what is there in that book. Okay. We are curious. Some box is there, that packet inside, black packet. If you don't know what is inside, you're curious, one day you can see it. Srila Prabhupada always carried a bag. He was very, 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 we are nothing. He was extremely organized. He had one personal bag. In that used to be specs. In that used to be one checkbook. And in that everything was extremely well organized. The devotees were very keen to see what is inside in that bag. Yeah. And it used to be curious. very curious to see. There is one white bag he used to always carry. Personal things used to be keep in one bag. It was extremely well organized. He had a table, in that the key of the table with him, and in the table there will be 2 keys of the almirah in his room. Suppose he's there somewhere, and in the table, in the key, everything will be written what is there in that almirah. And in the almirah, when you open again, it will be written what is all is there. But the devotees used to be, secretaries used to be, the kind of detail he used to go into was to say, he's serving Krishna with all love, full detail. It's not that just happen. No. The devotees can never match his detail. He used to go to any temple, so bring the book, accounts book. Yes. Why? Where is this expenditure? Why not return? It's to be extremely detailed in all aspects of his management. Otherwise, it cannot just like you open the movement. No. Extremely detailed. In fact, had we run the movement according, or what all difficulties movement has faced, it is because we didn't follow his direction. He didn't. Every detail he had gone into. He was in America, and he said, please put in every of the temples register, because America registration is independent. The put blah 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 details, utmost urgent. They ignored that. Prabhupada departed. One devotee ran away with the temple, because that was not put in the agreement. This temple, the property finally belonged. Same thing in India. People take advantage when his directions were not. Otherwise, he has gone to the detail. In fact, in Bombay, what happened? Somebody tried to give money, and it took money and did not give the land. So you see proper letter. Point number 1. We should go to the court. Point number 1. Blah, blah, blah. Point number 2. He had written 8-9 points. Very organized and systematic. That's how a devotee is. He's very, very daksha. He's serving Krishna. There was once what happened. They brought a Bhagavatam to Prabhupada in a hurry made. So it was made in ISKCON press only. So they had not bound properly the book. So the book came in front of Prabhupada. They were so eager to show. He just appeared. They were very eager to show him, but not done properly. So when he opened, the whole binding fell apart. So they felt very bad. The Prabhupada, I think we should chant very nicely. Prabhupada said, use your intelligence properly. Chant nicely will happen. Use your intelligence. What is this? Binding is opening up. So we should serve Krishna with all the details. Okay? So understand this point that not only Krishna has done creation, he has made associate with it. And how do you know we are in a wrong world? Sat. Chit, you understood? We are very, very curious to know, because soul is full of knowledge. Soul knows everything. And it knows the Lord, most important thing. And once you know Krishna, you know everything. And it is eternal, therefore, we don't like to become old. We like to be fresh and young. We discussed that many times. Then Ananda, becoming happy. We become very, very happy. We want to be happy. Correct? People do whatever to become happy. But then we should be protected by the Shastra. Never, never, never cross the boundary of the Shastra to become happy. That will create havoc in our life. Always be within the bound of the Shastra and work. All help will come. You see the Parikshit Maharaj, he was within the rules and regulations of the Shastra. I am a Kshatriya. I cannot counter curse a Brahmana. I am a Kshatriya. I will not even repel the curse. They are respectable community. I'll accept the curse given. Correct? He left his kingdom in a helpless situation. Actually, he had not done anything so wrong, but he was bound by the etiquettes. Krishna sent him, Shukdev Goswami, to guide him. So always don't take a step which is outside the guidance of the Shastra. You are entering a dangerous area. There is no protection of the Lord there. Then be at your own risk, proceed now. Any time we do activity which is not sanctioned by the Lord, we are going to an area without any. Do at your own risk now. Then we enter a very dangerous position in spiritual life. Always, anything I do, I should see, will this activity please Krishna? Otherwise, rules and regulation can be, twisted around. The essence we should understand first. Then we know the detail. What is the essence of rules and regulation? Always remember Krishna. Never forget Krishna. That is the essence. Will this activity help me in remembering Krishna? No. Why you are doing it? Will this activity make you forget Krishna? Why you are doing it? Therefore, don't goes together. Always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. That is the essence. Then comes regulated principle. Just like apart from regulated principle, is that don't hear film songs, don't do any activity which will make you forget what is the meaning of it. Because if it doesn't come exactly, it doesn't come a film song. Arey Baba. Essence you should understand for. These are just details. Regulated principles are the details actually. Otherwise, not every activity you have to make a list. This also, this also, this also, this also. No. There is no end to it then. Correct? Is there any end to making list? There can be 1 million item, don't do 1 million item. No. Essence is what? Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Within that essence, you should do. And these are the 4 sinful activity gross should be avoided. Or that so many activities in a subtle way can lead to the same gross sinful activity. Therefore, it should be protected. It should be protected. Otherwise, it is said, no, devotee can find any excuse. I said, no, he can say, I am not the body, I am smoking. I am not smoking, the body is smoking. He can find any excuse actually. So the essence has to be then, that is called niyamagraha, niyamagraha. Niyamagraha means niyama, accepting rules and regulation without knowing the essence, blindly. That is also not good. And niyama agraha, rejecting the rules and regulation. Grahan karna, to accept. No, I went reverse. Grahan karna, to accept. Agraha means not to accept. So niyama agraha, not to accept the rules and regulation. That should not happen. The 4 sinful activities are gross. Never touch them. We go into a unprotected area. And niyama grahan karna, agraha nahi lena, agrahana. That means to accept blindly. Re-emphasize. You understand? Grahan karna, to accept. Grahan nahi accept karna. Then one more you put. Agraha. Niyam agraha. At the end you get niyam agraha. But niyam agraha you do sandhi vichhet can be niyama and agraha, and niyama and agraha. Both will lead to niyama agraha. So atyahara prayasasa prajalpa niyamagraha. So niyamagraha can have 2 meanings. So similarly, rules and regulation given in the scripture, actually the whole essence is let me not forget Krishna. Okay? And this essence you apply. We give gross regulated principles, but you should know the essence. Otherwise, there is so many activities which we don't want to make a list, which will obviously come. So anyway, so this is the illusion. So Brahma, finally, when he was born in the lotus, he heard the sound. He wanted to know the source of his birth. He was very keen to know. And he wanted to know how to do creation, how to do all these things. He was feeling helpless and alone. At that moment, he was praying, my Lord, if you are there. He doesn't know God is there. Nothing he knows actually. He knows nothing. So God, if you are there, please guide me. And then he heard the sound. Ta, pa, tapasya. Okay. He started tapasya. And the first he got darshan of Lord Vishnu. And then he got darshan of Krishna. As far as I remember reading this chapter, Krishna is the one who shook his hand. Vishnu, you are always at his lotus feet. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya. All the acharyas, you can sing like that. Vishnu Padaya, Vishnu's lotus feet. You don't act friendly to Vishnu. Vishnu means you have to be Krishna Prishtaya. Krishna, you can do so many things. Bhutale. Okay. So now what happens is that anyway, so he takes darshan of Vishnu and Krishna and is blessed. And the Lord gives him Chatushloki Bhagavatam. He gives him the Bhagavatam in 4 verses. This chapter also has a brief description of the spiritual world. Vaikuntha. The living entities are so beautiful there. Just in their early age, something like 16 years, they look very, very beautiful. And they are engaged in activities for pleasure of the Lord in the spiritual world. And very happy at the lotus feet of the Lord. And this is our good fortune. When we hear about the spiritual world, we also get a desire to go to the spiritual world. Vaikuntha, there is no anxiety. And next part we hear about is a Narada, who is a great son and also the disciple of Brahma. He comes and he also wants to inquire from the father. So the father had heard from Krishna the Bhagavatam in 4 verses, and he explains to Narada, little more expanded, And in that, the 10 topics of Bhagavatam are there, which you started yesterday. And then Narada explains this to his disciple, Vedavyasa. So that is there in the Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam we learn all that. Vedavyasa explains to Shuka, and Shuka explains to Suta, and Suta speaks first time publicly. That's how the Bhagavatam is situated. The message is same, but Brahma could understand in 4 verses. That is also there in the Bhagavatam. In fact, all the Bhagavatams are there within Bhagavatam. Interestingly. Okay, so we should have the opportunity to take advantage of this very, very unique literature and benefit. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavatam ki.